Hi guys, how's it going? Hope everybody is doing okay. I really do. I'm good, thank you. So here's what happened. I was on Book Outlet shopping for coloring books, and this book happened to be in that category, and I was just, like, oh, it's pretty. So I added it to my cart, and when I got the order about a week ago, I realized this is not a coloring book, but it looks so familiar because I know that I've seen this image before of this woman. That woman. Anyway, so yeah, it's not a coloring book, but at first I thought, wow, that's a thick coloring book. Anyway, so I started looking through it and I realized I have to read this. So I just started reading it from cover to cover. And by the time I was done reading it, I was crying so bad. I had like snot trail. I mean, it was serious. So anyway, so I want to do just a little bit of a flip through of this book. And I know that a lot of you may have already seen it. Some of you may not have seen it. I wish that I could just read the whole book to you, but then you guys would all be crying and I'd probably get in trouble like for some kind of copyright thing or something. Anyway, so I can't really do that, but excuse me. Anyway, it's an amazing book and it's filled with beautiful artwork. So the name of the book is All the Colors of Life by Lisa Aisato. I don't know if that's how you say her name or not, but I wanted to show you also, look at the cover without the dust jacket. It's just beautiful. So like Art Nouveau-ish, and it really reminds me of Tomislav Tomic's work too. So anyway, so let's take a look at it. So she is from Norway and is a celebrated illustrator in Norway, and sounds to me like throughout the world, but I feel like I've been living under a rock since it looks like she's illustrated more than 30 books for other authors. She's illustrated 6 of her own children's books, so now I gotta find these children's books. Anyway, so you can read a little bit more about her on the inside of the dust jacket, but I'm sure that a lot of you know who she is. But if you don't, let's just take a look at this book, okay? So it was published in, looks like it was published, the English, so originally 2019. I have a little owie on my arm, so try not to look at it. The English translation copyright was 2021. Printed in Latvia by Livonia Print, 2022. Anyway, so this book, she does say in the back of this book that the pictures in the book are assembled into a story about us as people and the course of our lives. I reflected on my own life as a starting point, but also spoke with those close to me about the different milestones they had experienced. They told me about the magic, laughter, and tears of childhood, the emotional, chaotic teenage years, the burden of being an adult, and the freedom, longing, and insight of old age. Says this is a visual book and the text can simply provide signposts as you leaf through it. Perhaps you don't recognize yourself in everything that's described, but I hope that you can let yourself be touched by this book and that you find as much joy in reading it as I have had in creating it. So this is what does it say? So she says it's a collection of her best illustrations. So anyway, so let's take a look. So A Child's Life is the first chapter. Remember playing in the summer rain. Remember bright summer evenings and the scent of dandelions on your fingertips. Remember how summer was greener. Look at the colors. Look at this bokeh, you know? I mean, really. I don't know if she works in watercolor or it looks a lot like watercolor or gouache or I don't know. Winter was whiter and Christmas was simply magical. Remember being curious and how we discovered new worlds with forests filled with knights and elves. We were ladybugs who didn't want to come in for dinner. Birds high up in the trees. And guardians of the ocean floor. Some days we felt strong and invincible. Other days we got scrapes and scars. Sometimes the world was unfair, and you had to fight. But I hope you felt that you were loved. Then it goes into a teenager's life. And this is where I really started crying. I mean, I was crying in the child's life, you know. It is just so cool how the illustrations really, I mean, it's like what came first, the text or the illustration, you know? So cool. One day a grown-up asked if you wanted coffee too. Sometimes the world got messy. Other times it lay at your feet. I hope your wings will carry you. And then this is about adulthood, becoming an adult, college. Maybe it's the best time of your life. We seek and maybe we find such bliss to find the one to love. But then everyday life comes along and you need to keep pace. Maybe it all falls apart, or maybe it's the two of you. A new life. Look at the little baby. You wish there were a user manual for difficult mornings, days, and nights. It takes a toll. Anyway, so that's like parenthood. And then a grown-up's life. Maybe you finally figured out who you are. Or maybe you're still searching. Some days we're strong and immortal. Other days we're just plain run down. The kids say goodbye and move out. It's never been so quiet. Maybe you grow closer. Or maybe it all falls apart. Now we're the ones who have to take care of mom and dad. Suddenly we are the oldest. A long life, and this is when I start crying. It's strange. On the inside, you're 22. Oh holding it back, you guys. We finally have the time to do what we want during the day. That's my favorite. I love that. And night. And at night. Maybe you're an optimist. Maybe you're scared and the world seems unfamiliar. But I hope she still makes you feel safe. See, there's that lady. I hope he still sees you. Then it's like your body is failing you. Maybe you forget what has passed. You will feel lonely. You will suffer loss. But you carry your whole life within you. I hope you felt that you were loved. So, oh my God. Okay. See? Anyway, I'm a crybaby. I'm super, super sensitive. I cry on mayonnaise commercials, you guys. I seriously do. Dog food commercials. Remember the old reach out and touch someone commercials that they used to play on TV? Oh my God. I would cry on those commercials. Especially the ones around Christmas time. Anyway. So I read this book the other night and I was just sobbing. And my son, Sebastian, came in the door. And there I am, sitting at my desk crying like a baby. And I just handed him this book. And I was like, you have to read this book. Just sit down and read this book. So he read the book. And by the time he was done reading the book, he was crying too. Anyway, so while he was reading the book, I went online because I knew I had seen this on channels before. And I was like, this lady has a coloring book. Anyway, so I found the coloring book, and ta-da, so I ordered the coloring book. It wasn't cheap, but it's worth it. I tell you, it is worth it. Shipped from Norway, I think, like from her house, I don't know, but she also sells prints, and yeah, I'll leave her website in the description, okay? So let's make sure I'm still recording here. Okay, so this is Lisa Aisato's Strange and Amazing Coloring Book. So she's taken her illustrations and turned them into coloring book pages. And so you'll recognize a lot of them with, you know, details added, like backgrounds and borders and frames and things like that added into them. So she has definitely altered them, which I think is very cool. So this is Book Lover's Nest. Look at all the little books. I know a lot of people really love coloring books. Not coloring books, but coloring books, you know? You know what I'm saying? Dreamcatcher. They're just beautiful. Antisocial media. So these are obviously the titles of the originals, it seems like to me. Morning Coffee. Stuck for Words. So it looks like these double page, like black background images are kind of reflective of like what you've just seen, like the previous few pages, because in some of them you'll see images that definitely relate back, or not images, but like almost like doodles that kind of relate back to those last few pages. This one's called Magnolia. Blissful Braids. I love this one. It's almost like a Moroccan tile kind of background. Golden Hour. This one too. This is probably one of my favorites. Very detailed. In a lot of these pages like this, you'll see there's like faces in all of these little doodles. There's all kinds of little faces and stuff in there. Look at, there's 2 little pigs in here. Queen of the Night. Everyday Love. Dragon Tamer. The coloring book was put out in 2024 though, so that's pretty cool. So it's relatively new. These are cool. Sorry, I'm still sniffling from crying. Hummingbird. The paper is pretty nice. I mean, you know, I haven't tested it out or anything, but seems like pretty high quality paper. Sweet Dreams. See, this one has all these like candies and, you know, cookies and stuff. Sun Embrace. Puzzle. I don't think this one was in the book. Immersed. This one has all kinds of little mushrooms and stuff. And little critters, little birds, and mushroom. There's a little fish right there. They're like, what's the word? Like mirror image, you know? Hunter. This is from that page that says, and you had to fight. I'm really tempted to color that one first. Siblings. Headache. Bothered Bug. This is one of my favorite paintings. I'm tempted to buy that as a print for my granddaughter for her bedroom. One of my granddaughters. Head Over Heels. This one's really cool. Boost. And I think this is the last one. But yeah, I mean, you could even color the end papers. So, anyway, so yeah, I like how it says, put away your phone and color. So, just a special little set that I wanted to share with you guys, and, you know, thought you guys might like it. But yeah, I'll leave info in the description. It's kind of funny how I came across that, but I'm really glad that I did. Things happen for a reason. So, anyway, love you guys. Let me know what you think about this little set. And, yeah, I'm curious to know how many of you guys already have this, or, you know, what you already know about her and her work and that kind of thing. But, and if anybody already has this coloring book and you would like to maybe work with me on one of these pages, maybe we could do that. Let me know. Okay. Love you guys. Bye for now.